The hardest work in the world is being out of work. The consequences of not having a job extend beyond the lack of income individuals experience in the situation. It affects relationships, mental health, physical health, and socioeconomic well-being, just to name a few. From an economist's perspective, the loss to society of unused resources should be addressed. But how? If we are to understand the depth and nature of unemployment in South Africa, we should start at the beginning. Each quarter, or 4 times a year, Statistics South Africa conducts a quarterly labour force survey, or known as QLFS. The QLFS uses individuals' answers to a carefully structured set of questions to divide people into 3 main categories. The first are people who are employed. These are the people who had a job during this reference week. The second are people who are unemployed. These are people who did not have a job during the reference week, but were actively looking for work. Group 3, these are people who are not economically active. This is someone who is neither employed nor unemployed during the reference week. Stats SA begins by defining the work age population. This comprises all persons ages 15 to 64 years. To be more precise, Stats SA targets 2 definitions of unemployment. The first is called the official definition. According to this definition, also known as the narrow definition, an individual is unemployed if they are 1. Age 15 to 64 years. 2. Were not employed in the reference week. 3. Were available for work. This means they would have been able to start work or a business in the reference week. 4. Actively looking for work or tried to start a business in the 4 weeks preceding the survey and interview. 5. Had not actively looked for work in the past 4 weeks, but had a job or business to start at a definite date in the future and were available. The expanded definition, also known as the broad definition of unemployment, includes the official definition, and 2, includes people who are available to work but are discouraged work seekers. A discouraged work seeker is a person who wanted to work but had no jobs in the area. This means they were unable to find a job within their skill set, or have other reasons for not searching. When we include work seekers who are not actively looking for unemployment, the resulting unemployment rate is higher than the official definition. The unemployment rate is considered amongst the most important indicators of the health of an economy. The unemployment rate is calculated by dividing the total number of unemployed people by the sum of the unemployed and employed, or the labour force, and multiplying that by 100. Here we have the South African unemployment rate since 2008, when the QLFS was first introduced. The trend for the average unemployment rate is upwards since 2008, with a new national high of 27.6% for Q1 of 2019. We can also see that there has been an increase in the labour force over time. It is difficult to measure the South African unemployment rate over a very long period of time due to the lack of consistent measurement and variable survey use. You can download the unemployment data series for South Africa from 2008 to the most recent survey results from the Stats SA website. Economists divide unemployment into 3 categories. The first type is frictional unemployment. This unemployment is associated with the process of matching workers with jobs and is typically short-term in nature. Economists usually do not worry about frictional unemployment as it appears that its effects are minimal. The second type is cyclical unemployment. This unemployment occurs during periods of recession or periods of unusually low production. Cyclical unemployment occurs when the economy experiences a decline in demand for the goods and services it produces. The third type of unemployment is structural unemployment. Structural unemployment is the most pressing kind of unemployment in South Africa. In general, around the world, structural unemployment is defined by the duration of unemployment, typically 6 months or longer. In South Africa, we define short-term unemployment as 1 year or less, and long-term unemployment as 1 year and more. Based on the data, clearly long-term unemployment is the greater problem in South Africa. To further understand the nature of unemployment, we can look at the flows into and out of unemployment and the labour market. The highest number of unemployed persons each quarter are new entrants into the labour market. This includes many young people aged 15 to 24 years who have recently completed secondary school. The next category of unemployed workers are known as job losers, those individuals who have lost their jobs. We can divide unemployment by the length of unemployment experienced by individuals. In the South African context, the individual is foregoing income from not being employed. In addition, individuals forego accumulated on-the-job training and skills and labour market experience which factors into future wages. Another important aspect is the depreciation of skills, as people become more unpracticed and less familiar at work activities. The unemployment rate is one of the most important economic indicators you will study, especially in the South African and developing country context.